All right, guys, we will be converting units and we'll be using both the customary system, which is the one we use here in the United States, and the metric system, which the rest of the world uses. All right, as you see, look at the metric system right here on the right-hand side. We don't measure ourselves in kilograms in the United States. Here, we're very used to measuring ourselves in pounds. Okay, we also use gallons, we use cups, we take our height in feet and inches, we drive miles per hour. So as you can see right here on the left-hand side, which is the customary system, that's the one we use here. Everybody else, if you drive to Mexico, for example, when you're driving on the freeway, they're going to be, the speed limit will be not measured in miles per hour, but in kilometers per hour. So it's a little different, but we're going to focus on both the customary and the metric. Let's go ahead and start off with something easy. I want to convert 8 yards into feet. Okay, now I'm going to tell you that through this lesson, in order to convert, we can use unit rate and or proportions. My focus is going to be on proportions because practicing proportions, guys, is going to get you very far and it's going to help you a lot in 7th and 8th grade. So if you want to work with unit rate, go for it, but I'm going to work with proportions. All right, so don't forget, a proportion is 2 equivalent ratios. And ratios, when you're comparing 2 different units. In this case, I'm comparing yards and feet. So I'm going to use the what got stuck method. What got stuck? All right, so here we go. Let's start. What are you comparing? I'm comparing yards to feet. Got, what information do you have? What did they give you? What information do you know for sure about yards and feet? Well, my reference material will tell me that. Don't forget to look at this when taking the STAR test, guys. All right, so I know for a fact that 1 yard is 3 feet. If I write it this way, guys, I'm wrong. I'm going to make big mistakes because, again, look at your reference material. It says 1 yard. Look what I have here. I have 1 foot is 3 yards. You see that? Make sure you do not make that mistake. Make sure you label and put your numbers in the correct place. It says 1 yard is 3 feet. Now we're good. Stuck. Where are you stuck? What question did you have? Well, I'm stuck because I want to know how many feet are in 8 yards. So this right here says yards. So I'm going to put the 8 where the yards are. And I'm stuck here. I need to know how many feet that is. So we're going to put a variable. Let's find a relationship. Can we go side to side? Yes. And we can go up and down. So let me show you side to side. Always, always, guys, point to your variable. It'll tell you what direction to multiply or divide. In this case, I got to go from 1 to 8. How do I get from 1 to 8? 1 times 8. What you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. 3 times 8 is equivalent to 24. So that is my answer. Now I'm going to do this again, but this time I'm going to do my relationship up and down. All right, so let me set it up again. And I just want to show you that if you can find the scale factor, if you can find the relationship side to side or up and down, it doesn't matter. You'll still get the same answer. All right, so always, always remember, guys, point to your variable. All right, how do I get from 1 to 3? Well, I'm going from a small number to a big number, so I'm going to multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. 8 times 3 is also 24. See? No biggie. Let's try one more. All right. 40 cups equals blank pints. All right, so I'm going to look for cups and pints. And it's right here. All right, I'm going to use the what got stuck method. What got stuck? All right, what are you comparing in the problem? I'm comparing cups to pints. So I'm going to go ahead and label cups and pints. Got, what information do you have? What information did they give you? Well, I know that 1 pint is 2 cups. Don't forget to put it in the correct order. 1 pint is 2 cups. Make sure you focus on your labels. and put it in the correct spot. Okay, stuck. Where are you stuck? What are you trying to ask or figure out? Well, I'm stuck because I have 40 cups and I want to know how many pints that is. So 40 cups goes there, and I want to know how many pints that is. All right, let's find our relationship. In this case, you can go side to side and up and down. Let's go ahead and try up and down this time. Always point to your variable. How do I go from 2 to 1? From a larger number to a smaller number. This time I'm dividing. 2 divided by 2 is 1. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. And 40 divided by 2 is 20. So that's my answer, 20 pints. All right, let's kick it up a little bit. All right, guys, here you have a question where it's asking you, which is more, 1 yard or 6 feet? Okay, so I don't know if you can see it too well, but I went ahead and added the reference materials here because that's something you need to refer to if you have a question like this on your test or quiz. All right, I'm gonna go back to the question, which is more, 1 yard or 6 feet? Well, right now I can't tell because they're different units. One is in yard, one is in feet. What we need to do is convert them both either to yards or convert them both to feet. All right, so let's go ahead. This one's very easy. 1 yard is 3 feet. So here, that's equal to 3 feet. We don't need to do any work. And here you have 6 feet. Now can you tell which one's bigger, which one's smaller? Yes, 6 feet is bigger. Let's try another one. Okay, this one asks, which is more, 4,978 feet or 1 mile? All right, let's look at our reference chart. Here it says 1 mile is 1,760 yards. So just take a moment here, guys. Do miles connect to feet? No, miles connects to yards. And yards connects to feet here. It says 1 yard equals 3 feet. So here I'm comparing feet and miles. What I'm going to do, remember just like the other problem, we had to convert them both into feet? Well, in this problem, I'm going to convert them both into yards so I can compare them easier. All right, this one is very easy. 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So I'm going to put 1,760 yards. That was not hard at all. But now what I got to do is convert the 4,978 feet into yards. All right, let me go ahead and get there. 1 yard is 3 feet. All right, so let's use our what got stuck method. All right, what am I comparing? Well, I want to turn the feet into yards. Got, what information do I have? Well, it says here that 1 yard, again, pay attention to your label, 1 yard is 3 feet. But I don't have 3 feet. In the problem, I have 4,978 feet. I want to know how many yards that is. So let's go ahead and find our relationship. If I go side to side, that's going to be a pretty hard number. I'd rather go up and down. Don't forget, always point to your variable. How do I go from 3 to 1? Well, I'm going from a bigger number to a smaller number, so I know I'm going to divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide 4,978 divided by 3. I like to line up my numbers, guys. I put a little line on top every time. You already know that. And then we go ahead and divide. 3 can go into 4 one time. I have 1 left. All right. 3 can go into 19 6 times. 3 can go into 17 5 times. You have 2 left. And 3 can go into 28 9 times. I have a remainder of 1. All right, but we don't have remainders, so we know it's going to be decimal. 3 can go into 10 9 times. And you're going to see that it repeats. 3 can go into 10. I'm sorry, I said 9 times. I meant 3. All right, and here it's going to continue repeating, guys, so I'm not even going to waste our time. So let's put our answer. 4,978 feet is equivalent to 1,659 yards and 3/10, repeating. All right, so now that they're both into yards, can we compare which one's bigger, which one's smaller? Yes, in this case, 1 mile is bigger because it's equivalent to 1,760 yards. And the feet is equivalent to 1,659 and 3/10 yards. So in this case, and I'm sorry for all this work, guys, it's kind of getting in the way, but in this case, my answer would be 1 mile is more. I was able to prove it. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. All right, this one's a little different because as you see here, the number's not a whole number, but rather it's a fraction. In this case, excuse me, I'm comparing gallons to quarts. So I'm going to go to my reference sheet, and it has it right here. 1 gallon is equivalent to 4 quarts. I'm going to use my what got stuck. All right. What are you comparing? Quarts to gallons. What information do you have? What did they give you? Well, they said 1 gallon is equivalent to 4 quarts. Again, guys, in all my videos, I sound like a parrot, but be very, very careful with where you're putting your numbers. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Make sure that you're putting it in the correct spot, because if not, it can really, really mess you up with your math. Stuck. Where are you stuck? What question are you asking? Well, I'm stuck because I don't have 1 gallon. I have 1/4. Now, guys, this already here looks like a fraction. I prefer not to put a fraction over another fraction. So what I'm going to do, instead of putting I'm sorry, I messed up. See, I told y'all not to do that, and here I am doing it. So anyways, you see where it says 1/4 gallons? It looks kind of weird, so I prefer to put a decimal. So what I'm going to do is turn my fraction into a decimal. Now, we all know that 1 out of 4 quarters is 25 cents, but I'm going to go ahead and prove it. When you have a fraction, you divide, numerator starts with an N, it goes on the inside of the box, and the denominator goes on the outside. All right, we're going to turn it into a decimal. So we got to make sure we have our decimals lined up. 4 can go into 1, 0. 4 can go into 10, 2 times. You have 2 left. 4 can go into 20, 5 times. So there we have it. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this fraction right here, and I'm going to turn it into a decimal instead. And we said it was 25 hundredths. All right. Now we can find our relationship. Let's look back at our proportion. We can go side to side or up and down. But in this case, up and down is better. It's just easier. Always point to your variable. It tells you what direction to move in. All right, how do I get from 1 to 4? From a small number to a big number? This time, I'm going to multiply. Sorry. All right. 1 times 4 is 4. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. And 25 times 4, think of 25 cents. If you have 4 of them, you're going to get 1 whole. So the answer to my question is 1 quart is equal to 1/4 of a gallon. Okay, I'm hoping this is making sense for you. Let's do a couple more. All right, this question here actually came directly from STAR 2015. So make sure you're paying attention, and please know that when you look at a fraction or a decimal, don't be afraid. They're just numbers, guys. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. It says Greta is 1 1/2 meters tall. Which of the following is equivalent to 1 1/2 meters? All right, so I'm looking for something that is equal to 1 1/2 meters. Now let's look at our multiple choice. as you can see, all of my multiple choice are turned into millimeters. So what I have to do is turn 1 1/2 meters into my multiple choice, which is millimeters. So let's look at our reference chart, okay? And we got to compare meters and millimeters. So as you see here, here's meters, here's meters. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. I don't want kilometers. I want millimeters. So that one's not going to work. This one says 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. I don't want centimeters. I want millimeters. As you can see here, guys, meters does not connect to millimeters. But let's take a look here. Meters does connect to centimeters. And look, centimeters connects to millimeters. So in this case, I have to first convert my meter into centimeters and then convert my centimeters to millimeters. So I'm going to do this step by step, don't worry. All right, whenever your units do not connect, when they're not equivalent to each other, make sure you create a plan. So I'm going to create my plan. My plan is to go from meters to centimeters, and then from centimeters to millimeters. All right, so let's go ahead and start and work on our plan. The first two, I'm going to compare our meters to centimeters. All right, I'm going to use my what got stuck. All right, what am I comparing first? I'm comparing meters to centimeters. Got, what information do you have? Well, the information is right here. It says 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Stuck. Where am I stuck? Well, I'm stuck because I don't have 1 meter. I have 1 1/2. Remember, guys, it's just faster, easier if you convert your fraction into a decimal. And I'm not going to show you the work. This one's real easy. 1 1/2 is the same thing as 1.5. All right, so I have 1.5 meters. Make sure you put it in the correct spot. I want to know how many centimeters that is. All right, so I can go side to side or up and down. In this case, I prefer up and down. Always point to your variables so you know which way you're moving. How do I get from 1 to 100? From a small number to a big number? Well, I'm going to multiply. 1 times 100 is 100. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I have to multiply 100 times 1.5, which will give me 150 centimeters. All right, because don't forget, we were comparing meters to centimeters. Look what they did here on STAR. They tried to trick you because they knew that you were going to see 150 somewhere in your work. So some kids are going to go ahead and automatically circle A. Guys, don't do that. Pay attention, and that's why I was telling you about proportions. It's so important to label and put your numbers in the right spot. As you see here, we were comparing meters to centimeters. So your answer right now is 150 centimeters. This is not centimeters, so that's not your answer. Do not make this mistake. I'm going to get rid of it because I know that's wrong. All right, so what I'm going to do here, you see my plan right here? I'm going to go ahead and write information. All right, 1.5 meters is equal to 150 centimeters. Okay, I like to keep my information organized. That way I don't get confused. All right, guys, I am going to erase this right here because I need more space. Here we go. Now, looking at our plan, okay, so make sure you're paying attention here. I went from meters to centimeters. Now I have to move from centimeters to millimeters. So I'm going to do my what got stuck method again. And this time, what am I comparing? Well, let's look again. I'm going from centimeters this time to millimeters. So centimeters to millimeters. Got. What information do you have? What did they give us? Well, if you look here, it says 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. Stuck, where are you stuck? Well, again, we're going to look right here. I'm stuck because I have 150 centimeters, so I'll make sure I put it in the right spot. I'm trying to find out how many millimeters that is. All right, let's go ahead and look at our relationship. We can go side to side or up and down. This time I'm going to go side to side. Always point to your variable. How do I get from 1 to 150 times 150? What do you do to one side? You must do to the other. When I multiply 150 times 10, that gives me 1,500 millimeters. Okay, and again, I like to fill in my plan. So this right here, guys, this is what we're looking at because my answer is in millimeters, just like the multiple choice. So I know it's not C, I know it's not D. It has to be B. Pay attention, guys. Don't let them give you multiple choice and get you messed up on it. Here's another question that came from Star. It says here, the measurements in the list below have a characteristic in common. 2 miles, 72,000 inches, 3,000 feet. Which statement describes the common characteristic? Common characteristic. So I want to find out what they all have in common. Now, what I'm going to do is look at my multiple choice. It says each measurement is less than 4,000 yards. Each measurement is greater than 1,760 yards. Each measurement is equivalent to 1,000 yards. Well, what do the multiple choice have in common? They all have yards. So what I'm going to do is convert each of these into yards. All right, let's start with the first one, 2 miles. I need to turn the miles into yards. As you can see here, I'm going to be using this information. Let's do our what got stuck method. What got stuck? All right, for the first one, I'm comparing miles to yards. Got, what information do I have? Well, it tells me here that 1 mile is 1,760 yards. Where are you stuck? Well, I'm stuck because in the problem, I don't have 1 mile. I have 2 miles. I need to know how many yards that is. Easy, easy. I can go side to side or up and down. In this case, I'm going to go side to side. Always point to your variable. How do you get from 1 to 2? 1 times 2. And what you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. All right, guys, and when I multiply 1,760 times 2, my answer is 3,520 yards. So, again, you already know me. I like to keep my information organized. I'm going to go ahead and write 3,520 yards. All right, now let's do the next problem. The next problem says 72,000 inches. So now I got to go from inches to, don't forget, yards. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this because I need space. I'm still going to use my what got stuck method. What got stuck? All right, in this case, I'm comparing inches to yards. All right, let's look here. Here are my inches. I know that 12 inches is 1 foot. Inches and yards don't connect. Oh, didn't we have that problem earlier? So 12 inches is 1 foot. 3 feet is 1 yard. So in this case, guys, I got to make my plan. I can't go from inches to yards. That's not going to work. So I can't compare those two. But what I am going to do is go from inches to feet first. Because as you can see here, my inches connect to feet and my feet connects to yards. All right, I have 72,000 inches. I need to turn that into feet. All right, well, I already went ahead and labeled. What do I know about inches and feet? I know that 12 inches is 1 foot. Stuck, where are you stuck? Well, I don't have 12 inches. I have 72,000 inches. All right, I need to know how many feet that is. I can go up and down or side to side. In this case, I prefer to go up and down. Always point to your variable. How do I get from 12 to 1, from a larger number to a smaller number? I'm going to divide. 12 divided by 12 is 1. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. And when I divide 72,000 by 12, let me do that on my calculator, guys. The answer is 6,000 feet. All right? Just like my other problem, I like to keep my stuff organized. All right, so I know that it's 6,000 feet. Now I got to turn my feet into yards. Okay, so let me erase this right here. I'm comparing feet to yards. All right, what information do I have? What did they give me about feet and yards? Well, it tells me that 3 feet is equivalent to 1 yard, but I don't have 3 feet. I have 6,000 feet. I want to know how many yards that is. All right, I can go side to side or up and down. I'm going to go up and down because it's easier. How do I get from 3 to 1? From a large number to a small number? Divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. And 6,000 divided by 3 will give me 2,000 yards. All right, guys. So, again, I like to keep my information organized. I'm going to put 2,000 yards. And my last one, now, according to this one, I have to convert my feet into yards. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my what got stuck method. What got stuck? All right, in this case, do feet convert into yards? Yes, they do. So feet and yards is what I'm comparing. Got. Well, I know that 1 yard is 3 feet. Stuck. I'm stuck because in the problem, I have 3,000 feet. I want to know how many yards that is. All right, I'm going to go side to side this time. 3 times what is 3,000? 3 times 1,000, that's your scale factor. What you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. And 1 times 1,000 is 1,000 yards. So I'm going to write my information here. Okay, so now that all of them are into yards, let's go back to the multiple choice. The multiple choice says each measurement is less than 4,000 yards. Is that true? Are all of these less than 4,000? Yes. Let's look at the next one. Each measurement is greater than 1,760 yards. It's greater than 1,760 yards. Well, this one is greater than 1,760. This one is greater than 1,760. This one is less than 1,760. So this one is wrong. And the last one says each measurement is equivalent to 1,000 yards. That's definitely not true. The only one that's equivalent to 1,000 yards is this one. But these two here are not true. So my answer obviously is the first one. Now guys, I know that this took some time to work, but it is not hard work. Make sure that you create a plan. All right, guys, so this will be the last problem, and I hope that this has helped you understand how to use proportions. Make sure that you're labeling, putting your numbers in the correct spot, finding the scale factor. It's pretty easy. It does take some time to write it out, but overall, it'll give you the right answer every time, and it's less confusing. So I'm just going to do this last one. I'm going to go from cups to quarts. Let's say I have 20 cups. I want to know, well, I think I used something like that. Sorry. Let me go ahead and let's go from tons. No, let's go from meters to kilometers or centimeters. There we go. Let's do 9,000 or 9.5 meters equals blank millimeters. All right, so we're going from meters to millimeters. As you can see here, meters connects to centimeters. Centimeters connects to millimeters. So I have to draw out my plan. I can't go directly from meters to millimeters. All right, what they both have in common is this. They both connect to centimeters. So let's go ahead and start. I have to go from meters to centimeters, and then from centimeters to millimeters. According to the problem, I have 9 1/2. Again, because this is a fraction, let's turn it into a decimal. 9 1/2 means 9.5. So I got to turn that first into centimeters. All right, let's use our what got stuck. I'm just going to put WGS, what got stuck. All right, what am I comparing? Meters to centimeters. Got, what information do I have about meters and centimeters? Well, I know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And in the problem where I'm stuck, I have 9.5 meters. So I'm putting 9.5. I need to know how many centimeters that is. All right? I can go side to side or up and down. I'm just going to go side to side this time. Always point to your variable. How do I go from 1 to 9.5? 1 times 9.5 is 9.5. What you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. And 100 times 9.5 will give you 950 centimeters. All right, according to my plan, now I have to go from centimeters to millimeters. All right, so what am I comparing? Centimeters to millimeters. Got, what information do I have? What did they tell me about centimeters and millimeters? Well, 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Stuck, where am I stuck? Well, I'm stuck because I have 950 centimeters. I want to know how many millimeters that is. All right, my relationship, I'm going to go up and down this time. Always point to your variable. How do I get from 1 to 10? 1 times 10, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. And 950 times 10 will give me 9,500 millimeters. And that, my friend, will give you the answer that you're looking for. All right, well, this video was pretty long, but I hope that it helps you. Don't forget to ask any questions in class if there's anything I did not cover. Thank you for watching.